Norwich, Connecticut. Norwich, known as the Rose of New England, is a city in New London County, Connecticut, United States. The population was 40,493 at the 2010 United States Census. Three rivers, the Yantic, the Shetucket, and the Quinebaug, flow into the city and form its harbor, from which the Thames River flows south to Long Island Sound. History. Norwich town was founded in 1659, by settlers from Old Saybrook led by Major John Mason and Reverend James Fitch. They purchased the land 9 miles square that would become Norwich from the local native Mohegan Sachamunkus. One of the co-founders of Norwich was Thomas Leffingwell, who had rescued Chief Uncas when surrounded by his Narragansett enemies, and whose son founded the Leffingwell Inn. In 1668, a wharf was established at Yantic Cove. Settlement was primarily in the 3-mile (4.8 kilometers) area around the Norwich town green. The 69 founding families soon divided up the land in the Norwich town vicinity for farms and businesses. By 1694, the public landing built at the head of the Thames River allowed ships to offload goods at the harbour. The harbour area is known as the Chelsea neighbourhood. The distance between the port and Norwich town was serviced by the East and West roads, which later became Washington Street and Broadway. The original centre of the town was a neighbourhood now called Norwich Town, an inland location chosen to be the centre of a primarily agricultural farming community. By the latter 18th century, shipping at the harbour began to become far more important than farming, especially when industrial mills began manufacturing on the 3 smaller rivers. By the early 19th century, the centre of Norwich had effectively moved to the Chelsea neighbourhood. The official buildings of the city were located in the harbour area, such as the City Hall, courts, and post office, and all the large 19th century urban blocks. The former centre is now called Norwich Town to distinguish it from the current city. Norwich merchants were shipping goods directly from England, but the Stamp Act of 1764 forced Norwich to become more self-sufficient. Soon large mills and factories sprang up at the falls on the rivers which traverse the town. The ship captains of Norwich and New London, who were skillful at avoiding imperial taxation during peacetime, later were just as successful eluding warships during war. During the American Revolution, Norwich supported the cause for independence by supplying soldiers, ships, and munitions. Norwich was also a centre for activity for the Sons of Liberty. Colonial-era less noteworthies include Christopher Leffingwell and Daniel Lathrop. The Oxford English Dictionary attests the first recorded use of the term hello to the Norwich Courier on the 18th of October 1826. Regular steamship service between New York and Boston helped Norwich to prosper as a shipping center through the early part of the 19th century. During the Civil War, Norwich once again rallied and saw the growth of its textile, armaments, and specialty item manufacturing. This was also spurred by the building of the Norwich and Worcester Railroad in 1832 to 1837, bringing goods and people both in and out of Norwich. By the 1870s, the Springfield and New London Railroad was also running trains through Norwich. In 1892, the city's first electric trolleys started service to local areas, plus to some cities including Westerly, New London, Willimantic, and Putnam. In 1952, the town and city of Norwich were consolidated into one. Geography. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 29.5 square miles, 76.4 square kilometers, of which 28.3 square miles, 73.4 square kilometers, is land, and 1.2 square miles, 3.0 square kilometers, 3.87%, is water. Climate. Neighborhoods. Several Norwich neighborhoods maintain independent identities and are recognized by official signs marking their boundaries. Neighborhoods of Norwich are Norwich Town, Bean Hill, Yantic, Taftville, Greenville, Acomb, East Great Plains, Thamesville, Laurel Hill and Chelsea, the original downtown area. Demographics. As of the census of 2000, there were 36,117 people, 15,091 households, and 9,069 families residing in the city. The population density was 1,274.7 people per square mile, 492.2/km2. There were 16,600 housing units at an average density of 585.9 per square mile, 226.2/km2. 29% of households had children under the age of 18 living with them, 40.7% were married couples living together, 15.0% had a female householder with no husband present, and 39.9% were non-families. 32% of all households were made up of individuals and 12.5% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.34 and the average family size was 2.96. In the city, the age distribution of the population shows 24.1% under the age of 18, 8.9% from 18 to 24, 30.2% from 25 to 44, 21.5% from 45 to 64, and 15.4% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 37 years. For every 100 females, there were 90.5 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 87.3 males. In 2012, the population had risen to 40,502 and the racial makeup of the city was 70% white, 13% Hispanic or Latino, 10% Black or African American, 8% Asian, and 1% Native American. A significant influx of Chinese Americans has settled in Norwich since 2010. The 2012 median income for a household in the city was $51,300. 15% of the population were below the poverty line. Sports. The AA Eastern League Connecticut Defenders, previously the Norwich Navigators, were a farm team of the San Francisco Giants and they played at Senator Thomas J. Dodd Memorial Stadium from both its inception in 1995 until the team announced its move to Richmond, Virginia for the 2010 season, where they are now known as the Richmond Flying Squirrels. However, starting in 2010, Dodd Stadium became the home to the Connecticut Tigers in the Class A short-season New York Penn League, formerly the Oneonta Tigers. The ESPN mini-series The Bronx is Burning was filmed at Dodd Stadium. Parks and Recreation. Mohegan Park. This forested area is Norwich's largest park. The park's property contains numerous hiking and biking trails, picnic tables, grills, pavilions for rent, a beach, basketball courts, a Mohegan monument, fountain and playgrounds. The Rose Garden at the entrance on Judd Road contains over 100 varieties of roses and is a popular site for weddings. Many of the hiking trails are used by the Norwich Free Academy cross-country team for practices, and in 2006 the team volunteered to improve the condition of trails. 5K fun runs are held in the park on Thursdays during the summer. As of 2009, the running course has been redesigned to incorporate much of the trails. The park center contains Spalding Pond, the square, fountain, and Mohegan Monument, both playgrounds and a dog pound run by the Norwich Police Department. The park center has declined somewhat. The zoo, reptile house, and concession stand have been closed for over a decade. However, much has been done to improve the appearance of the remaining park. Spalding Pond, the main body of water in Mohegan Park, is held back by an earthworks dam, across which is a path bordered by pergolas and flowering plants. On March 6, 1963, long-term saturation of the over 100-year-old earthen content, along with unchecked shrub and tree growth, severely weakened the structural content of the dam and caused the waters of Spalding Pond to burst forth into the city, causing the Great Flood of Norwich, elegantly chronicled in the 2013 book A Swift and Deadly Maelstrom, The Great Norwich Flood of 1963. The break and subsequent flood flow pulverized houses with its large ice content, overran streets and cars while destroying the eastern half of the Turner Stanton Mill, situated in the flood's direct path on Centennial Square. It was there that the building collapsed, claiming the lives of 6 of the 7 total who would die that night while causing over $6 million in damage. Mohegan Park also contains another, smaller pond, called the Skating Pond, which is southeast of the main pond. This pond, which had always been designed as an overflow spillway for Spalding Pond and, when frozen in the winter, provided a wonderful ice skating area for the local youth, thus its sobriquet, was redesigned as part of Norwich's long-term flood plan in 1968 and currently still serves as a surge overflow volume for the upgraded Spalding Pond Dam, although it is no longer open for public use. Because of its sample, sprawling trails and variety of flora and fauna, Mohegan Park is a lesser-known destination for southeastern Connecticut's nature photographers. Ice Rink. The Norwich Municipal Ice Rink has a 200x85 National Hockey League regulation ice surface, 4 large locker rooms and other amenities. Established in 1995, the Rose City Warriors are Norwich's senior women's ice hockey team, and a number of local high school ice hockey teams call the rink home as well. Museum. The Slater Memorial Museum, located on the campus of the Norwich Free Academy, is named for John Fox Slater, 1815–1884, corporator of the Norwich Free Academy for 20 years. The museum has grown to include the art of 5 continents: North and South America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. Of particular interest are the Vanderpoel collection of Asian art, the Paul Zimmerman collection of African and Oceanic art, and a collection of 19th-century American paintings. Gallery. Government. The city elects a mayor, who presides over the city council, which includes 6 other members, all elected at large. The mayor serves a maximum of 2 4-year terms, the council members serve 2-year terms. The council appoints the town and city clerk, a city manager who acts as chief executive officer of the city government, the city planning commission, and zoning board of appeals. Education. Elementary and middle school residents are zoned to Norwich Public Schools. The middle schools of Norwich are Teachers Memorial Middle School and Kelly Middle School. Norwich is also home to the Integrated Day Charter School, an alternative to the area of public schools. The Norwich Free Academy is the primary high school for students living in Norwich and several surrounding towns. The Norwich Free Academy was incorporated in 1855 by an act of the Connecticut legislature, and operates as a privately endowed independent school governed by its Board of Trustees and funded by private, municipal, and state sources. In 2006, Sidney Frank donated $12 million to the Norwich Free Academy, which resulted in the campus's newest building being named after him, the Sidney E. Frank Center for Visual and Performing Arts. Norwich Technical High School, a Connecticut technical high school system school, also serves the area. This school is a public option to those within the Norwich area, and many other towns surrounding Norwich. To those within the Norwich area, transportation is provided by Norwich Public Schools via the same buses that serve Norwich Free Academy in the morning, and in the afternoon students are transported to Norwich Free Academy to use their buses to return home. Three Rivers Community College also serves the region. Infrastructure. Transportation. Public transportation in Norwich is provided by Southeast Area Transit, or SEAT. The city was formerly served by various railroads in the past. Notable people roads in the past. Notable people roads in the past.